Hi, I'm Jonathan Farnell. Some people call me Johnny V. And other people call me a lot of names I can't mention in public. No, I'm kidding. This song is called To the Man. It's an ode to my father. I can't tell you the entire story. That would take too long because this song is about 5 or 6 minutes anyway. But highlight his life would he was 13 or 12. I can't remember. I was 12, and he was 2 months into the third grade, and he had to quit because his dad got sick, and he and his mother would go out into the fields and work. And as he got older, he traveled a lot. I found out later through kind of a accidental occurrence he had listened to blues, and he had heard some of the old country stars sing in the taverns when he was young, because he'd go into these taverns for food, and he was about 16 or something like that, he said, and he'd go there and sing for his supper. His Uncle Lester would play the Jew's harp, and he'd sing, and then they'd give him some food, and he'd sit and listen to these old blues and country fellas who were probably working in the field right next to him. I don't know. He didn't ever say about that, but he did tell me that he knew a lot of the music that I was playing. I had a big collection of blues. I still have a big collection of blues. When I was 11, Dad almost died. He had 3 heart attacks. He was working 14 to 16-hour days sometimes, trying to, support his family and get out of debt. And things kind of went wrong. He ended up having a heart attack right out there on the log raft, and I don't even remember what happened. It's kind of all of a blur. I was only 11, so they life flighted him in, and he had another massive heart attack in Ketchikan. We were living in Alaska at the time, so they sent him to the Mayo Clinic, and he had a mild one down there. They said, "One more and you're dead." And he prayed. He says, "God, keep me alive so my wife doesn't have to raise our children by herself." Well, they told him he had maybe, I don't know, they said 5 or 7 years or something like that. I don't remember. They didn't think that he could live very long, given the fact of how much damage had been done to the heart. And he had a rare condition I don't even want to go into. It was a nerve disorder that he inherited from, I guess it went back several generations, and nobody knows what caused it. At that time, there were only about 12,000 cases in the United States that had it. Now I think there's up to 3 or 4 million. Whatever the case is, he had it, and that's what caused his heart attacks. He had overstress and a bunch of other stuff. And so one thing led to another, and he outlived their expectations by 30 years. He got to see his grandchildren and buy his house that he always wanted and fix it up. And when he was 79, he got really sick. His lungs were having problems. He'd smoked for years before he quit. He had 25 years and then he quit. So anyway, the point is that he smoked for a long time, and then he'd had bouts with pneumonia and various things. And he just, they get old and things happen. And one day he'd been coughing, and he couldn't get rid of the cough, and it was hurting him. And he said he dislocated a rib. I have no idea if he did or not, but anyway, he thought he did. And so he told me that day, and I'd come up to visit him. My older brother told me that he was really not doing very well, so I went up to visit him. And he told me, he said, "Johnny, I can't take it anymore." He said, "It's hurting. Every time I cough," he said, "it just won't go away, and I cough for 5 minutes, and it just hurts." And so he said, "If I go, I'm not coming back." He was that type of guy, just decisive. I mean, just make up his mind and do it. And, so anyway, the point is that the next day we went to see him in the hospital before his MRI, and I don't know what happened, but all but 2 of his children were in town at the time, in Walla Walla, where he was. And we gathered around and heard stories we never heard, and listened to him tell old ones and family legends that he'd started, and listened to him joke and laugh with all of us. After everybody left, an hour later, he died. And he couldn't lay flat, and they said they tried to resuscitate him. So it was real strange, which he shouldn't have died, because the doctor was saying he shouldn't have died. We could have resuscitated him, but he just wouldn't. And I think he just decided to go. It's just like, he used to do that with dreams. He just didn't like the way they were going, so he'd stop him in the middle. Change the dream, doggone it. So this song is called To the Man. This is the guy I learned to be a man from. I probably fill his shoes very badly in some ways. But whatever good is in me is because he was a good representative. He was a good example of what it meant to be a man. At his funeral, they said the guy who gave the speech, it was his pastor, I think, said, one thing I learned from everybody who knew him was he had a crusty outside and he was a big, soft center on the inside. And that was my dad. The shadows fought for him and he won. I don't know whether it was through determination or just the grace of God, but I think it was probably both. And I had my dad until I was in my 40s, and I was lucky. I'm grateful, and I'm thankful, and this is his song. Down from Missouri to nomads of the Southland who chase the harvest moon. Up from the Mississippi Delta to Dust Bowl, Oklahoma, he became Atlantis moon. A hard life shaping romance where nothing stayed down when he falls. Heart lived through it all. A shell hard as a stone, pressed up to the core. He closed the window of hope while opening the door. Opening the door, love found him torn and bleeding from choices hard and bitter, frostbitten and cold. Hope of growing old together, we'll take the bittersweet adventure when love had taken hold. The shadows fought through the night with death at the door. Love won the day as the sun set into the west. God measured the man and found grace could pay. A shell hard as a stone, but soft to the core. He closed the window of hope while opening the door. Chase dreams others would call the castles in the sky. But if God would have given him wings, he would have learned to fly. Yes, he would have learned to fly. Born just down from Missouri to know much of the Southland, he chased the harvest moon.